Homesteading, and today's the day we're going to set up the Harris Farm 360 incubator. I looked all over the internet trying to find an incubator that wasn't so expensive that I couldn't afford it, but it wasn't so cheap that it wasn't going to work. So I found this one and had some great reviews. I'm going to do videos all the way through just updating how it's working. First thing we're going to do is read the instructions and basically choosing the right location. They want you to put it in a room that stays between 74 and 80. Which is going to be a problem for my house, so I might have to just keep the heat on or something, I don't know, because I heat with a wood stove. Pay attention to the room temperature, that it doesn't drop below 72. Particularly at night, do not place the incubator near a window to avoid direct sunlight or drafts. Caution, do not use incubator on the floor. Air is not fresh close to the ground due to CO2 concentrations. They want you to put it into a room that's got a stable room temperature, and basically keep it away from windows and all that kind of stuff. So we can do that. First thing I'm going to do is fill pot A with water. Pot A and pot B, so we fill this one for the first 1 to 18 days. Now that I have the water filled up, we're going to take the lid off. For the last few days I've been collecting eggs and I tried to make them as clean as possible, but honestly I had to wash some of these off because no matter what I try to keep it clean, but the eggs were a little bit dirty, and you're putting it into a humid environment, so I wanted to make sure they're sterilized best I can. One thing I do notice with this incubator is they give you ample size spots to put the eggs in. That was the problem with the Chinese incubator because it was so tight, it was so hard to get the eggs in there, especially bigger chicken eggs. So I looked, no cracks, no discoloration, I'll keep putting them in. This one looks good, there's no cracks, but there is some weird eggshell on the end, so I'm going to try to pick perfect eggs. One thing I see is that it takes big eggs, but you got to make sure that the egg fits loosely in each compartment. Because if they don't, it'll just drag it around and it won't roll it. So we're making sure they're loose, that's good. So now I have all the eggs ready to go back in. I'm going to remove them. I'm going to take them out because we have to run the incubator for about 4 to 5 hours. See that all the humidity and everything kind of stabilizes, and then we'll put the eggs in it. Put the lid back on. Egg turner. So I'm going to plug in the power supply. Okay, so we're going to let this run and we're going to see if the humidity and the temperature will stabilize. So the incubator's been running for about 4 hours now with no eggs in it. So now we're going to check to see what the humidity is and the temperature, and if it's right, we'll just throw the eggs in it. The incubator's at 99.5 Fahrenheit and 48% humidity, so it's perfect to put the eggs in. We put the lid back on. So once you plug it in, they say it should reset and it should go for 21 days. So now that you got it all plugged in and going, you press the positive and the negative button at the same time, and you look at the eggs and you make sure that none of the eggs get stuck, that they actually can turn the eggs. Because if the egg is too big in the carrier, it can jam and just kind of pull the egg. So you want to make sure that they roll. So what I'm going to do is going to video the whole process, right from I unboxed it to getting the incubator going, all the way through candling and hatching and everything like that, hopefully. And then each one of these videos I'm going to make sure that I have a link to the playlist. Because sometimes when you find one of the videos, it's hard to see the rest of the videos. And you don't know if any hatched or not. Put a link to the playlist in the description of this video so you'll be able to see all the videos in this series. So that's about enough for today, and you guys have a good one.